Hey everyone, this is Kitchen Table Rants, and we're here with our review of three shows. We are going to start off with The Walking Dead, we're going to move on to Gotham, and then we're going to wrap up with The Flash. This is a new format that we're just testing out, so if you like it, please comment at KTR Podcast or on SoundCloud.
It's going to be a marathon.
It's going to be a brief marathon, and I believe on Sunday or Saturday we may do Arrow, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Supergirl as well, so you'll have that to look forward to. But for now, we're going to go ahead and do Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 3, titled Thank You.
This was a shocker of an episode.
Very, very big episode. I mean, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So this episode continues from the premiere of the season, where we're focusing on the three different groups here. You have Rick, sort of in his own group. You have Abraham and Sasha and Daryl, who are continuing to lead a very, very large portion of the horde away from Alexandria. And then you have Glenn and Michonne and Heath, who are taking the remaining survivors of Alexandria and just heading in another direction. So we're following these three groups and sort of seeing what kind of situations they get into following the first episode of the series.
Right. So episode 2 kind of shifted away from the hordes and went to the people or the actions happening inside the city of Alexandria. Now this has switched back to the going on outside of the walls.
Right. And
so we're back to Rick, we're back to Glenn, Michonne, all that whole group. Daryl.
So, you basically have Rick commenting on how the horn's not stopping, and so they had to continue with their plans. You can kind of tell with Sasha, Abraham, and Daryl, mostly Daryl, that he feels a little bit uneasy about continuing and having to leave the group behind. So you see some hesitation with Daryl. He's kind of going back and forth of,
Well, let's jump into what's going on first.
Yeah, I mean that to me that is kind of part of what's going on, really. At least on their end. Not much happened with them.
Right, yeah.
They were stagnant the whole time. They were sort of waiting for instructions.
They're still driving.
Yeah, they're just kind of driving on the road. They're not doing much.
On the road again.
Yeah. Again. So that's what's happening on their side. A large chunk of the action began with Glenn, Michonne, and Heath. And like we said earlier, they're kind of telling the Alexandrians that, if they don't start toughening up, they're gonna die basically, and Rick's telling them there's gonna be casualties, and if there are, just move on. It only matters if Glenn and Michonne survive because they've proven themselves as survivors.
It's interesting. This whole episode almost has seen. I think we've seen over the last couple of seasons, but Rick was basically Shane here. He is a Shane-like character.
I feel like
versus, I think, Michonne, Glenn, some of the what's his face, Morgan. They all kind of represent parts of who Rick used to be, the person who really believed in people, and now you kind of see him not believing in anyone. He just wants to kill anybody who gets in his way.
Yeah,
and that's what Shane was.
I don't feel like he's gone full Shane yet.
He's getting close. He's getting close.
Shane was definitely a psychopath, and what happened with Shane, he saw all these, useless things that were going on with helping Herschel herd the zombies. He saw this and freaked out. And Rick saw the Alexandrians being so comfortable in their environment when there was certainly a hostile, group of walkers just right outside. He saw that as just being foolish. Eventually, they were going to have to face the real world, and he was essentially just speeding them up and trying to get them prepared for
True, to some extent, but he also just doesn't care if they die. I think
that's because he knows he's been through so many things.
He has, but I think in the back of his mind, he doesn't care if they all die as long as his group somehow survives. If they're the last ones left in Alexandria, I don't think he would shed a tear.
I think he still wants to bang that blonde girl though.
she might be. They might save her, but the rest of them, I think they can die.
Yeah,
in his eyes at least.
It depends. So we have officially Dr. Dre is in the show now, and he'll probably stay around a lot since Straight Outta Compton was such a big hit. And granted, I'm sure they filmed it,
Yeah, I mean, he's
differently from when that was shot. But still, at this point, Corey Hawkins is a bigger name now.
Yeah,
so it's good to have him around a lot longer.
I agree, and I think they made it a point to focus in on him. He clashes with Michonne a lot in this episode.
He does, yes.
And Michonne basically tells him he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Right. And I thought that was good because the way that they clashed, and from Michonne's point of view, I kind of felt like she was defending Rick, which was, says a lot to their relationship at this point as well.
Yeah.
Especially since Michonne came into the group as an outsider. She was with Andrea for like almost a year. And, she's explaining to Heath that, Rick's seen and done things that the Alexandrians have never had to gone through. And unless they put themselves in those situations, they're not going to grow and they're not going to be able to handle themselves in the apocalypse.
Right. And we know Michonne hasn't, in the past, has never been shy to voice her own opinions to Rick. I mean, she disagrees with him a lot.
Right.
But in the end, I think she still shows that she's a part of that group. And she knows that she trusts Rick enough to go along with what he's doing, regardless of whether she completely agrees with it or not.
And so you have another character, not certain of his name, but he's like a bigger Caucasian male, and he kind of goes on this one monologue, and Michonne's listening. And he's explaining about, his loved one and how he wrote a note to her.
Yeah, it was his wife.
Yeah, and he's talking about how, that's keeping him going. And then as the story progresses, this character, ends up getting, mobbed by a ton of walkers, and you get this shot, of the note, a close-up of it. And it's just like, man, Walking Dead still is able to bring those feels, even to characters that are barely established.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know the dude's name, but yeah, it was still kind of sad to see that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so they're trying to get back to Alexandria, and some of them are wounded. They're struggling.
Well, let me explain to you something really quickly. I will explain to you how some of them got injured. They were chilling in this forest when some walkers showed up, and some random kid who is unnamed in their group with a ball cap shot the black guy. The new African-American male who was in their group just somehow is in the way of this bullet that this guy randomly shoots. I don't know if his leg just got in the way of the bullet, but of all people, the bald black male gets shot by the random bullet.
At least he didn't die.
He didn't die, but he got shot.
He did. But I think they were just trying to show how inept these Alexandrians are.
Oh, absolutely.
They are completely inept.
He just takes off and starts running into the jungle. The forest.
And he gets killed, doesn't he?
Definitely.
I'm pretty 100%. Sure he's got eaten. But yeah, so they're trying to get back to Alexandria. In the meantime, Rick has already told everyone what to do. So he's told Glenn.
Yeah. Rick, a.k.a. Usain Bolt for this episode. For the man sprints for so long, so quickly.
I mean, he was sprinting, but he was running cross country. I mean, he was going miles, it looked like.
Man, he was running so hard. But this dude did no cardio in the meantime, and is just straight up running like he's just been doing.
What happened? He shaved the beard and lifted like 30 pounds off.
Yeah, he had that post-depression beard for so long that when he removed it, like the leg gains were just like, I'm into this.
I'm not gonna lie, I missed the beard.
Really?
I loved the beard. His beard was pretty epic. I respected the beard.
I didn't like him when he had the beard.
I loved him when he had the beard. He was so crazy and just awesome.
I don't want to go back, but like last season, he had some like really, or it was the season before that when him and Carl were just Coral when they were just wandering off together, and it was like Carl was his dad for a couple of episodes. Like he was steering him in the right direction, and Rick was basically
he had lost his child. He was crazy. But when he was crazy, he was doing crazy things, which was entertaining
like farming and crops.
That was like 2 seasons ago.
That was 3 seasons ago.
Okay, well, there you go.
Just throwing that out there.
You're going way back.
But anyway, so we have like a couple of intense scenes that happen sort of in this broken down Walgreens type of area where they're trying to, search for supplies, and they end up creating a plan where Glenn and Nicholas, of all people, Nicholas is the character that almost got Glenn killed.
Well, almost kills Glenn.
Exactly, last season, and he's been trying to redeem himself ever since. And you kind of see Nicholas, he mentally he sort of descends into madness here, and he's struggling with his sanity. You can tell because
starts having flashbacks. He starts freaking out.
Yeah, he's freaking out this entire episode.
And it's interesting. I mean, Glenn has really taken it upon himself to help Nicholas.
I can save him.
Basically, I mean,
I can save him.
Despite everything, I mean, he's taken it upon himself, and he
hero.
Glenn's almost like, he's retained that early Rick ideal of helping everyone and trying to start a new world where people will be people.
Exactly.
And he still has that idealism in him, and he's trying to help Nicholas, whether that's a good thing or not.
You know, as I was watching Glenn in this episode and how he's really stepped up as a leader these past seasons, I found myself thinking back to like the moment that really changed Glenn into being that sort of character. And what I found was that I believe it was episode 3 or 4, and it was the episode where Merle had him strapped to the chair and he was trying to extract information from him.
Right.
And he sent in, I think, 2 walkers to attack Glenn while he was strapped to the chair, and he ended up breaking part of the chair and defeating the walkers. Yep. I think that was the moment that really kind of changed Glenn's character. Would you agree with that or no?
I don't know if that was a specific moment, but I think during that season you see a transformation. When he meets Maggie especially.
Yeah.
I think is when the turning point for him was this. Then he had kind of had, before it was just him, he's like an old ex-pizza guy.
Yeah.
He just didn't know what he was doing. He's just kind of there. But I think he really found purpose when he met Maggie. And it from that point on, he really evolved as a character, as kind of one of the leading members of that group.
But in terms of like stepping up as a leader, he was being tough though. Like, just in terms of him being able to lead groups of people and just being tough in general.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
what are these steps that really brought him to that? Was like kind of what I was, trying to examine in regards to.
Yeah, and I mean, being captured in that scene, it was also because Maggie. He was trying to get out to get to Maggie.
Right, of course.
So it was. I think she was the catalyst for that, and he's from that point on has become.
Yeah.
Became. Well, we'll get to that. But
where are your words, Zed? Where are your words?
Yeah. So that's he.
Yeah. So eventually, the Michonne's group ends up splitting into 2. Glenn and Nicholas, try to do some scouting, and of course, as you would expect, they get mobbed by walkers. They end up.
They go to light a building on fire to cause a distraction.
Right, and then in this point, Nicholas claims that he knows the directions and like how to get to the best spot. Glenn's, obviously gonna trust him. He thinks that Nicholas can redeem himself.
Right. So they get to the building and it's gone.
It is gone.
It's just gone.
Yeah. Let the disappointment set in because it only gets worse from here.
I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably already know what happens.
Let's just go ahead and
let's just tell you what happens anyways.
So
they get trapped.
They climb this giant dumpster. They're surrounded on all sides. There's, zombies below them. There's some climbing the fence that are behind them. Like, it's pretty crazy.
There's no way they're getting out of this.
Glenn's just yelling at Nicholas. Nicholas is just like, what would be great right now if I was dead?
Yeah, I mean, Nicholas basically looks at him, thanks him, tells him thank you, basically for letting
Title
him
episode got dropped.
Himself. Yep.
Jay dropped the name.
And shoots himself right in the head.
In the face, just right as Glenn is just yelling at him.
Right, and his dead body basically knocks Glenn down off the dumpster into these hundreds and hundreds of zombies.
Yep, and then you just get this slow, agonizing shot of Glenn screaming, and then just intestines
blood
and organs
getting pulled out.
Right.
Now, here's the question.
Is he dead or is he alive? I am supporting the theory that he is alive because, 1, organs and stuff are getting ripped out of his body and no blood was coming out of his mouth. That is not how Walking Dead does this. We have seen people get ripped.
There's a precedent, damn it.
There's always blood going to be coming out of the mouth. His teeth were so white, I swear he used Colgate that morning. For sure. In the apocalypse.
Probably.
He may have.
He probably had it in Alexandria.
They might. Where did all the toothpaste go? The zombies weren't using it. I'm sure they found a few.
Do you think they use Colgate, though? No Aquafresh?
Bruh, it's Crest or Colgate. Those are your only 2 options for toothpaste.
None of that off-brand stuff?
Nah.
That organic stuff? No?
Nope.
You sure?
Bruh, quality. I mean, not like they're going to be choosy, but if it was the apocalypse and I was walking down a broken down Rite Aid and I saw Aquafresh, Colgate, and Crest as an option, I'm going to look at that bold, red-ass marketing design from Colgate and be like, you know what? I don't get a lot of things in this life since the zombies took over. I'm gonna brush my teeth with this high quality stuff.
The real question is, do they use Listerine?
You know what? I think once they got the toothpaste, they were like, we don't need the Listerine. We're grateful enough for the toothpaste alone.
But if there was Listerine lying there, would they use it?
I would get the purple one. Even though it tastes like acid, it will burn at least 99% germs from your mouth.
All right, Mace Windu Listerine over here.
But I digress.
Yeah, anyways.
So what is your viewpoint on Glenn being alive or dead?
So, I mean, I've been reading stuff about it. I mean, again, people keep saying, oh, it was Nick's body on top of him that was getting eaten. It wasn't him. I don't know. He was screaming a lot. There's a lot of blood. That was the other thing. Nick's blood was on him, so people are saying, oh, it was the guts were keeping him from getting eaten. And then there was some theories about, oh, there's a manhole that was next to him, or he was able to climb underneath the dumpster. Personally, if they're gonna kill him, I think they should just kill him.
I agree.
Just
let me tell you something.
I like Glenn as a character. He's been one of my favorite characters. I enjoy it, but if you're gonna do something shocking, I think they should just do it and kill him.
Yeah, I mean,
I would be a little pissed off if they bring him back.
Absolutely. It's season 6 of a show where we've seen people that we've loved, characters that we love.
Rest in peace,
die.
T-Dog.
T-Dog, you should have did neck press, and you would have escaped there pretty well. But you didn't do neck press, and you got your neck ate. Sometimes life just happens like that. You don't do neck press, your neck gets ate. So, yeah, Glenn's died almost 3 or 4 times since it started. Like, remember he was in the jail, and he was, like, super sick.
Yeah, he's escaped a lot of death.
Yeah, a ton. And, like, if he survives this, then he needs to just survive forever. He doesn't need to be under as much risk again. He needs to survive till the end if they don't kill him this time.
I think I don't know if he's dead. I think he is, and I hope if he is, they're saying he's dead, he's going to stay dead. Now, there's still, again, people are bringing up, oh, why was he not in the in memoriam section of
Why wasn't he on
Dead?
Talking Dead? Because he alive, that's why.
And the producer's answer was, well, there's going to be some flashbacks, some other stuff that we're going to
talking around the question is what he was doing.
He was, and that's the thing is, regardless of flashbacks, he can still be dead.
Exactly.
So I have a feeling he's not dead. I want him to be at this point because they're leading us to it.
Let me tell you what happened. This year in television already prepared us for moments like this because we already got the big Jon Snow and Game of Thrones. We're ready for these kind of these surprises.
Yeah, but like
we are prepared.
If you're gonna kill, this is the thing. If you're gonna try to lead me to believe someone's dead, do it well. Give me all the red herrings. Put him on Talking Dead in the in memoriam section. Don't talk around.
I am not convinced that he's dead.
I know you're not. I want him to be dead because they're telling me he's dead.
You're not convinced.
I don't know if I'm convinced he's dead, and I'm gonna be mad when he comes back.
Yeah. So let me just talk about something else really quickly. A lot of people in this episode, Twitter, Facebook, all the social media, all that they were talking about was Glenn dying. But I would like to direct their attention into something else, something beautiful, something great that happened this episode that has never been seen in Walking Dead. Beautiful, gorgeous. 45-second shot. 3 black characters walking out of the light, just like they just walked right out of the gates of heaven. 80% unscathed. 3 black characters walking out safely into this mystical river to lick their wounds. This is unheard of in Walking Dead.
Let's be honest, like 2 of them are probably gonna die next episode.
Well,
the bald guy is definitely dead because nobody even knows his name.
Bald guy is definitely gonna die. Let's just take this moment as it was.
However, we have Dr. Dre in there now.
Yes, we have Dr. Dre. He will survive at least one more episode. And then we have Michonne. She's in here.
Well, she's there for the long haul for now, at least.
For now.
She's a main character.
Let's just take this moment as it was, and that was Walking Dead finally respecting their African-American male and female fan base. And they're just like, you know what? Take this.
Can I make one request, though?
What's your request?
Please kill Gabriel.
Yes, we know that he was on The Wire, and we know that you're keeping him alive in respect for that amazing show that he was on. But please, let him go.
I hate Gabriel. But yeah, I know you were really amped up about that scene.
It was amazing. I told all my friends that this happened. Like I was about to have a party and print out that shot and put it all around the house. I was like, it's a glorious day. Even though Glenn might have died, something great came out of this.
Yeah, I mean, it was different.
I'm not gonna lie, I was happy at the end of the episode. This trumped the death because of how great it was.
Let's talk about the end of the episode because it got really dark at the end of the episode.
It did. After Rick finished his sprinting marathon, he actually encountered an RV. And during the RV, surprise, the wolf that Morgan let free near the end of episode 1 shows up and starts attacking Rick. But Rick doesn't play that mess. He goes in. He kills 4 of them.
He murks them all.
Rick was like, ain't a thing. 4 down. What else? What else y'all got for this?
Sees them in the mirror, shoots them all. Just
Here's when
mows
Rick
them
messed
down.
up, though. He uses, he somehow unlocks the unlimited ammo code and just starts shooting up the van on the inside.
He's always had an unlimited ammo code. They all have. They also have the code that shoots you right in the head.
Yeah. It started where Herschel unlocked infinite ammo on the shotgun in season 2. He was just over 12 shots.
But
yeah.
Herschel's like old man. Like he's like God. He looks like God.
Are you saying that he should have got that? That he just has it from being God?
What I'm saying is Herschel's probably still alive.
Stop it. Stop it.
If Glenn comes back, I'm starting the Herschel is still alive rumor.
Bring back Spaghetti Tuesdays. Yeah. So Rick, I think, ends up messing up part of the RV and is unable to get it starting. And then a bunch of walkers pretty much descend upon him. Very similar to season 1 when he's in the tank. You know?
Yeah, it's similar. But however, we know that he can just keep running and outrun them probably.
Yeah, Rick can pretty much outrun any human on the planet at this point because his cardio game is so strong.
Yeah, and most of the humans are dead.
He wasn't even breathing hard when he got to the RV. He was like, I woke up and did this route.
You know what? If he survives a zombie apocalypse and we can get the world back on track, he should be an Olympian.
I think so. He should probably start the Olympics and participate. Conflict of interest? Maybe. Will he win? Yes.
Probably.
Let's make some standards. Now, here's a question for you. Near the end of the episode, I started wondering, like, you know what? Who's safe and who's not safe? And here's what I came up with.
In terms of who can die?
Like, I mean, everyone can die, but here's who I think needs to stay. Michonne, Rick, Carl, and Daryl. Everyone else, Abraham, he can die. Sasha
Agreed.
Can die. You know who I don't want to die? Eugene, because his death wouldn't even mean anything. Like, killing him would mean no one would feel any type of way if he died. So he can stay. Tara, she can go. Those are the characters that I think won't be killed. What do you think?
I agree. If they off Rick, people will stop watching the show en masse. If they kill Carol,
excuse me, Carol the God cannot be killed.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. If they kill Carol, I think they'll lose part of the fan base, and I think she's an important female presence on the thing.
Remember the mech? She was in the little mech suit.
Yeah, that meme.
That was so good. There was this meme on BuzzFeed that was like they were comparing season 1 Carol to season 6 Carol, and they had a bunch of images. And the final image was her in this like mobile suit Gundam thing.
Yeah, it was her final form, according to BuzzFeed.
Basically, imagine like cropping out Carol and putting her inside of one of the suits from District 9, and that's what we saw, and it was hilarious.
It was great. Daryl, I'm a little iffy on. And I say that because he is a made-for-TV character, and I think it would be tragic to kill him, and I know he has a huge following. However, if they do kill him, they can still keep continuing with the direction of the comic books, even if he's dead.
Well, here's the thing. In reverse of that, Andrea is still alive in the comic books.
True. So, I mean, I know they've veered away from the books, but I'm just saying there's always the door slightly open that they could offer if they need to. But I don't think they will. I sadly have to say Morgan might die.
Samurai Jack, new Samurai Jack.
I think Morgan may be off. Granted, he has been weaving in and out of the show for the last five seasons. I mean, he'll show up.
Will he ever get a peanut butter protein bar?
I hope so. He deserves it.
He deserves it, but will he get it?
Probably not.
He messed up, and that's the reason why Rick kind of messed up the van. So I am not really in good faith with Morgan right now.
But
I don't think I like him that much.
Yeah, I mean, this is finally his kind of coming out party where he's a pretty big mainstay and actually part of the group. which could mean one of two things: he's going to be in it for the long haul, or he's going to get killed by the end of the season.
I think he might be killed.
I think if he
I would like to have him around for the majority of the season.
I agree. If he makes it out of the season, I think we'll see him for a while. If he does, and obviously if he doesn't, he's dead.
Yeah, or he just leaves again. I don't know. I don't know. But
maybe I that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I know the next episode is supposed to go into explore kind of his backstory and what he was doing. That's what I read.
He was gone for a long time.
Yeah, so there are some ideological differences between him, Carol, and Rick,
him and everybody else.
Right, and I think there's a chance that he pieces out.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I call Morgan the Batosai. Why do I call him the Batosai? Let me tell you something. There was a manga called Rurouni Kenshin, and he was a killer back in the day. But in present day, you know what? No, he carries around a reverse blade sword, which means he can't really kill people like he used to. He can only injure them a lot, and that's what Morgan does now. He used to be Jigsaw from Saw, but now he walks around with this staff and only injures people a lot, not
humans.
Them.
He
is the Batosai.
He kills the zombies.
He does kill the zombies though. They're already dead, so.
Yeah, I mean it's not really. Yeah.
All right.
But
do you have any more thoughts about this episode?
I thought it was a strong episode.
It was a strong episode. It has a 9.6 on IMDb.
Yeah, it was a good episode. It really hit on all the points. Now, it's going to be interesting to see the fallout of Glenn's supposed death and the herd moving, them kind of recollecting back in Alexandria and seeing the aftermath of everything. Because you see the end of the episode, Michonne and them are kind of coming back to camp. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
I also hope Glenn is alive because I don't think I can stand to see Maggie's gross I'm crying face because it makes me real sad. And I saw it when Beth died and I don't want to see it again. And I hope they recognize that
we're going to see it regardless because it's not going to just be next episode show Glenn alive. I think they're going to draw it out a little bit. I think there's going to be a search for Glenn. They're not going to necessarily find his body or remnants. They'll find they'll find the remnants of Nick.
They spent like 4 episodes of the last season with Maggie and Glenn separated, and Maggie like going beast mode trying to find him. I don't want to do that again.
No, but this isn't something they know where he'd be.
I have no control over this.
So
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I don't know, but I think
great season so far. First 3 episodes have been killer.
Yeah, it started off with a bang.
I'm excited. It's a rare feat to be in your 6th season and still be able to keep it interesting. So I am very thankful for the team with The Walking Dead. They're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, I'm glad the wolves are kind of at play. The human against human interaction is often more interesting than just them trying to survive the zombies. Because we know how to survive the zombies at this point.
Know. Kill them. So
you kill them and you make walls and don't make noise. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that wraps it up for Walking Dead.
You want to just jump right into The Flash?
You want to go into The Flash? Let's go to The Flash.
I mean, Gotham.
You want to go Gotham first?
I want to go to Gotham first because I have a lot to say about Gotham.
All right. Well, let's start a new recording.